Hey HTDA, and welcome back to my spoiler-free step-by-step guide to Techtonica. Now today I'm going to show you just one thing, which means this episode will be rather short, and that is how to get more bang for your buck by using blast mining. Blast drills are kinda weird because they use mining charges as a fuel, but they actually consume all the charges that are in here every 12 seconds. And even though you do get slightly more resources if there's more than one charge in there, it can actually consume up to an entire stack of 20, as you can see right now. And it will be consuming the mining charges whether or not there's something to mine. Like you can see over here, this mining is actually not doing anything, but it is still consuming the stuff that you're putting in here. So you want to be very careful on how you set this up, and you want to be efficient about it. Since you're going to need a lot of explosives for those blast drills, I suggest that you automate them in a zone that has plenty of room and doesn't really have any other materials that you want to start mining, for example, the hydro zone level 4. Now, it's always a good habit to make sure that you can utilize the water for power production as well, so just set up some easy water wheels and crank generators, and then build your first platform on top of that to make sure that you don't lose any available space. In order to make these mining charges, we're going to need plant matter, shiverthorn extract, and kindlevine extract, and all of these things are plant-based, so you can actually make them at an unlimited amount very easily. The plants are extremely simple to produce. All you need is a setup of about 20 to 25 of these planters with a row in the middle that is delivering all the seeds to it, and then a belt on the outside to collect the materials from the planters. Put them into a thresher and make sure you have some of these filter inserters, one to split off the seeds back onto the main line, and then the second set is going to extract the produce from the actual threshing. Now, to absorb all of this plant material, you're going to need a whole lot of additional threshers in order to transmute that into the next stage. Now, as you can see, I'm using a mix of the Mark 1 thresher and the Mark 2, mostly because I just ran out of the Mark 2 threshers, and you might as well if you're looking this up pretty early on once you just unlocked the blast miner. But if you do only have Mark 1 threshers available, just put them down. You want this to get going, and you can always just come back and upgrade the threshers later. This is going to produce so much of those explosives that you're going to be just building this once and you're going to be set for the rest of the game. The layout here is identical for both of the types of plants. So you have threshers that are drawing in the base resource, either the buds or or these called the stems, I believe. Yep. And then we have two lines going out, one on each side of the machine. One of them is going to absorb, in this case, the plant material, and the other is the shiverthorn extract. And then for the other line, we have one with the kindlevine extract and one with the plant matter fiber. All of the materials, except for the plant matter, is going to go straight into a couple of assembler Mark IIs in my case, so that's 8 of them total if you want to make sure you're actually using all the inputs. And you're going to need to watch out a little bit for how you orchestrate your inserters, because you actually do need to get a lot of stuff into these machines, but you're also going to be throwing 60 explosives per minute out of them per unit. So not only do you need 2 belts to handle all of that, you also want these belts to be fairly close to the machine, so you actually have enough in and output ports in order to arrange all of this. So I have 2 input belts on the outside. One of them can be handled by just a single fast inserter, but you also need 2 long inserters to handle the 30 per minute that needs to go into this machine. And then on the other side, I have 3 belts in the middle, so I have 60 per minute coming out of this machine, so I need a total of at least 2 fast inserters to put those explosives on the belt. And I need the 30 per minute extract to go in here, so this is why, once again, I have the long inserters, as you can see over here, to get that from the middle belt. Now, just a single setup will allow you to run over 100 drill blasters, so, well, if you have that all up and running, then you are probably close to finishing the game already. Just make sure you also find a use for all that plant matter that you're now producing, and my favorite way of handling that is by setting up 3 assembler Mark IIs to make the plant matter into fiber, and then another 2 Mark II assemblers to make that fiber into plant matter frames. This is a generally very useful item that you're going to need a lot of anyway, so you might as well put that to use. Use the elevator to get the explosives where you need them to go, and by use of some math, it's actually pretty easy to set up blast drills pretty efficiently. So all we need is a double belt like this, one for the inputs and one for the outputs, and the inputs, the explosives, are going to be on this outer belt, with long inserters attached to that. Now the long inserters are going to be putting 15 explosives per minute into the blast drill. The blast drill is running on a 12-second cycle, so that means it's going to be exploding 5 times per minute, which means it's going to consume 3 mining charges. 15 divided by 5 is 3 every minute. Now, if you look at the upgrades for the blast drill, the first upgrade you actually get allows you to produce 2 chunks per blast if at least 3 mining charges are being supplied. So this is effectively doubling the already pretty awesome production that you will get from the blast drill without wasting too many mining charges in the process. Now, this is actually going to be upgraded further along the way, but in my opinion, this is actually just complete overkill. Just the 3 mining charges per minute is already going to give you a massive amount of production. What I also really love about blast drills is that they don't actually need power to work at all. You can just do all of this with long inserters and the normal basic inserter. You can do everything with belts, and all of that is going to require 0 power, other than of course the massive power production that you need for the plant materials. But yeah, as long as you have that up and running, this is going to be producing a massive amount of chunks for you. And chunks also happen to be a pretty efficient way of transporting ore around your facility, because of course one of these chunks is going to contain 25 ore by itself. So rather than just producing 25 ore, you're going to be just producing a single chunk. So that's going to be way easier to get around to your main facility than any other alternative. All of this is pretty straightforward, but I hope you found it useful and it will help you to set up the best miners in the game for your own playthrough as well. If you like this stuff, then make sure you also join me in the next episode, where I'm going to show you how you can use all of this to set up a giant bus/mall type of facility, if that is what you want to do. Either way, if you're still here, you are awesome, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.